I'm Shaun Brown, Product Marketing Manager at Gatling. In this quick walkthrough, I'll show you how our flexible test creation tools help you build smarter tests faster. Let's get right into it. First, let's start off by considering why load test creation can be a pain. Many teams have fragmented tooling and workflows. This can mean different tools for scripting and recording, maybe even for configuring your tests. Fragmentation slows down test creation and introduces friction, especially on teams. Also, there's a lack of flexibility for many technical teams. Lots of load testing tools force a single way of writing tests, limiting the language that you program in, patterns, or integrations. Developers can't reuse existing logic, or data sources, or helper libraries, making tests less realistic and harder to maintain. Finally, there's often a steep learning curve for non-technical users, especially in test as code solutions. It's a powerful option, but it's not always accessible to new users. Without visual tooling, onboarding new contributors is slow and test creation becomes bottlenecked within a few specialized team members. So what do you get with Gatling's Enterprise Edition? You get test as code, low code, and no code test creation options. You can choose between our powerful SDKs, our no code test builder, Gatling Studio, our new browser-based recorder, or Postman imports. You get a protocol agnostic engine, where you can test everything from modern web applications to APIs, IoT systems, databases. The sky is the limit. Finally, you get full customization. You get to bring custom logic, external data, helper functions, and real production-like behavior directly into your simulations. Now let's look at each of the test creation solutions in a little more detail. Let's start with test as code, kind of the core of Gatling. These are supported by our SDKs for Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, Scala, and Kotlin. This allows you to bring version control for your simulations and full traceability. Also, you can integrate seamlessly with CI/CD for automated performance checks. Gatling's SDKs allow you to model realistic user journeys with complete flexibility. This includes things like branching logic and looping, conditionals, and custom flows. You can bring in your own dynamic data with Gatling feeders and transform the data as necessary within the test. Finally, you can fine-tune request behavior, checks, and validations as well. You can also bring your ecosystem into your tests. This means like bringing in your own libraries, helpers, and business logic. This can also be your data sources, whether you use JSON, CSV, or database. And finally, you can reuse things like authentication flows, metrics, and custom functions. Gatling's no-code test builder lets you build quickly in the UI. Test creation is fast by just entering an application URL. You can set up an injection profile from 3 pre-selected styles, and you can click save and launch and your test will run. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. This platform allows you to easily onboard new users and have them get a feel for load testing. Finally, there are additional options in the no-code test builder for complete test configuration, including adding load generators by location, run stop criteria to control how your test exits based on the load generator performance or error rate, and time ramp windows that allow you to filter on the set of data that are most important for analyzing your load test. Next, we can talk about Gatling Studio. Gatling Studio is a brand new application which allows you to capture browser-based actions and instantly convert them into a load test. You can record using your built-in browser, such as Google Chrome, and Gatling Studio will automatically detect the requests, actions, and navigation. The generated HAR file is then used to create a Gatling load test. Once you've created the test in Gatling Studio, it's easy with one click to export it as a Java Maven project, customize it some more, or send it straight to Gatling Enterprise. Finally, let's talk about Postman. Gatling offers a Postman integration that lets you take your Postman scripts and run them as Gatling load tests. This allows synchronization between your API testing team and your load testing team so that you're always testing the same scenario. The Postman integration is really ideal for teams that are already using Postman to test their APIs and want to add in synchronized load testing to ensure that their customers get the best possible experience. Okay, so that's a lot of talking, but now let's look at a demo of test creation using Gatling. We're going to use Gatling Studio to create a test and then see what that test looks like in our IDE. So I'm going to click over to Gatling Studio, where you can see the welcome page here. And then I'm going to go ahead and log in with my account. Okay, so here we are on the welcome page inside Gatling Studio. You can see that we don't have any recording. Let's go ahead and record a new journey. This starts off with Gatling's demo project, which is perfect for learning more about creating tests. We'll click Start Recording, and this will open up a dedicated Chrome tab to start the load test. Okay, so now here we are on Gatling's e-commerce site, where we can browse products, log in, search for product, etc. Let's go ahead and make a quick test by adding an item to our cart, searching for an item, clicking in to see the details, and adding this item to our cart. Now we can log in and finally go to our cart and check out. Now, that's our user journey, and all we have to do is close the window, and Gatling Studio automatically knows that the recorded journey is completed. Let's change the name and call this Gatling Studio Shopping Demo and click Save. Now, inside Gatling Studio, we get a detailed list of all of the requests that were made while we were in our browser session. This includes things like the GET request to the website, and it also includes requests for things like JavaScript, CSS, and image files. From here, we can click Scenario to create a new scenario. And now we have a list of the calls only. So we have the GET requests here. This includes a filter to remove static resources, which is traditional in load testing, but you can turn that off if you want to add the static resources back in. We also have the different domains that were used in the test. There's the ecom.gatling.io address that you recognized from the beginning of creating the test. And there's also the API address right here. So from here, we can click Filter the recording. The scenario is now updated. And now we can see the load testing scenario. So we have the homepage, some pauses added in between steps, and post requests. Let's export the project. We choose a base URL. In this case, I'll pick the API and click Export. I'm going to put this on my desktop, and it exports a Java Maven zip file. So let's unzip that. And now I will go over to my IDE, and we can open that folder. And here is our simulation. It comes with a very helpful README file that gives you all of the information you need to go from this created simulation to running your simulation on Gatling's Enterprise Edition. Let's take a quick tour and see what we made. So in the Java example folder is our simulation. It includes a Java file with all of the steps of what we just did. So we can scroll down a little bit here, and we'll see that we've set the base URL like we told it to do in Gatling Studio. And then we have our scenario where we navigated to the products page, etc. Finally, at the bottom of the script, if I can scroll down far enough, there's the setup block, which includes the injection profile, which you can further customize based on Gatling's documentation. Okay, that's it for this product tour. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about Gatling. Check our website for more content like this, which can help you accelerate your testing.